When it comes to holiday spending, it's better to be proactive instead of reactive. What I mean is, the earlier you can start planning, saving, and preparing for the holidays, the better. I don't know about you, but I want the holidays to be a fun time, not a stressful, anxiety-inducing time. I want to enjoy my peppermint mocha in peace, please. The best way to make the holidays fun and stress-free is to start planning. Today, I'm sharing a few things you can do to prep your budget for the holidays and keep your spirits and bank account balances high. I'll even be sharing a few tips to help you make the most of your holiday spending. Welcome to the City Girl Savings Podcast. I'm Rhea Reeves, founder and finance coach of City Girl Savings. I turned my life around with budgeting many years ago, and now I'm on a mission to help others do the same. I fully believe that you can enjoy your life on a budget, and this weekly show will focus on the intersection of money and the city girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. Okay, story time. There was once a point in my life where every year I would say that next year I'll save and plan ahead, and it never happened until I started hosting the City Girl Savings Frugal Fall Savings Challenges. I completely admire people who save for the holidays all year round. I mean, the earlier you start, the more you'll have. For me, though, I found that saving specifically for the holidays 8 to 12 weeks early is my sweet spot. Now, whether you're saving year-round or saving a few months in advance like me, you'll still want to prep your budget accordingly. And here are some things to keep in mind. First, start thinking about your holiday spending limits. It's always good to go into the holiday season with an idea of how much you actually want to spend. Now, don't just limit your spending limits to gifts either. Think about any holiday parties, charities, or events that will require extra money from you. Setting spending limits helps you avoid overspending. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Imagine going into the holiday season with no direction on how much you want to spend. That is a recipe for overspending disaster. Start thinking about the financial limits you have with your holiday spending and then start saving to make sure you can meet those limits comfortably. Now, everyone's situation is different, so there really isn't a one-size-fits-all limit amount. Try thinking about everyone you need to buy gifts for and come up with individual limits. And like I said, don't forget the events or giving to charities. Make sure you add up the total to get your overall holiday spending limit and then start saving for it. If you're saving a few months in advance, repurpose your current savings to holiday expenses and spending. So if you already have automatic savings transfer set up, and I'm sure you do, consider repurposing those transfers to holiday spending. You can take the money out of your savings account and use it for holiday shopping, or you can have the transfers allocated to a completely new savings just for holiday spending. And it can also be a checking account too. And if you have a debit card linked to that account, anytime you use that debit card, you should be spending money on holiday expenses. The point is not to stretch yourself thin for the holidays. It's great to keep up your saving efforts, but not with the risk of using credit cards because you don't have enough for your holiday shopping. Now, please understand that this repurposing is temporary and you'll switch back to your normal savings routine after the holidays. If you're not fond of this approach after trying it, make a plan to save earlier for the holidays next year. And don't be like me and say you'll do it and don't do it. Actually make that plan. Okay, next way to tighten up your budget and prepare it for the holidays is to tighten up your discretionary categories. Here's the thing. The holiday season is the costliest time of the year for all of us. That means we need to be wise with our non-necessary spending. As the holidays approach, start tightening up your discretionary categories. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, discretionary basically means non-necessary or fun. So the things that we spend money on, but we really don't have to, but it makes us feel good. So if you have $250 a month allocated for fun spending in your budget, try cutting it back to $150 and using that $100 difference to save for your holiday spending. This gives you some wiggle room with your spending for the holidays and helps to make sure you don't go overboard. This is another strategy where you must remind yourself that it's temporary. Imagine getting through the holidays with no debt and actual money in your account. That is music to my ears. And trust me, that also makes tightening up the fun spending truly worth it. But again, it's temporary. I'm slightly embarrassed to say this, but during my college years, that time where I was downright crazy with my money, I would take advantage of Black Friday and all of the holiday sales to buy myself stuff. I would overdo it, spending on myself that I'd be tight with getting the gifts I truly needed. So if you do plan on buying yourself some stuff, please set limits and stick to them. Also, consider buying everyone else's gifts first, just in case. Are you tired of wondering which moves to make next with your money? Do you need some guidance on whether to pay off debt, save, or focus on something else? Get my free Money Moves packet today and start making impactful money moves instantly. Go to citygirlsavings.com/moves to download your Money Moves packet now. All right, next way to prep your budget for the holidays, add seasonal categories into your budget to keep you on track. So, do you make a new budget every month? Then me and you are on the same page. Every month, I create a new tab in my budget spreadsheet document and create my new budget for the month. This allows me to add in categories that may not be there year-round. I recommend adding in seasonal categories to your budget to help keep you on track of what you want to spend and what you actually do spend. Some category ideas for you could be holiday gifts, seasonal activities, or festive spending. Once you have your seasonal categories added, you can allocate your income to them. Re-review your holiday spending limits and allocate accordingly. And my final tip for you: hide your credit cards. If you take anything away from this episode, I want it to be this: do not go into debt for the holidays. The holidays come every single year, so it's not wise or worth it to go into debt because of holiday spending. Trust me, your loved ones wouldn't want that for you. And those who you are buying gifts for will be happy with anything you give them. And if not, there's some evaluating you need to do. Now, I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I've gone into debt for the holidays in the past, so I'm speaking from experience. It's just not worth it. Hide your credit cards as we get closer to the winter months. You don't need them, and you should only be spending what's been saved or what's in your accounts. Okay, let's talk about how to make the most of your holiday spending. So first things first, I want you to get your holiday shopping game plan in place. Now, usually for me, I try to get all of my shopping done during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. So I make sure all of my lists are ready before then. I also try to save as much as possible before those sales start. So get specific on what stores you'll be going to. Check out their website online beforehand to see if they even have what you're looking for. And if you're shopping on Black Friday, will you be waking up early to beat the crowd? This is something I'd recommend to avoid the extra stress. And when the time comes to get out there and actually shop, make sure you review your budget and spending limits before you leave the house. And consider using cash if it will help you stick to your limits. Make sure you pack your list with all of the items you need to get. And as you purchase items on the list, cross them off so we're not duplicating efforts here. And try to avoid buying things that are not on the list. Maybe make a note of that item and revisit later if it's something you truly do want to get. And lastly, don't be afraid to reevaluate who you're buying gifts for. I know this can be a tough one, especially for the people pleasers or the people who don't want anyone to feel left out. But if you come to find that you're just not doing a good job of sticking to your budget limits, reassess who you're buying gifts for. I used to be the person who bought just about anyone in my life a gift. And while my intentions were great, it was completely unnecessary, and it also cost me a lot more money than I could actually afford to spend. Imagine buying all this stuff for myself, then turning around and buying everything for everyone and their mothers. Yeah, that wasn't good. Acquaintances and coworkers don't need lavish gifts. If you feel compelled to get something, buy a bulk set of wine or anything else and parse out the inventory. You also can't go wrong with classic Christmas cards. Consider making them yourself. DIY Christmas cards are adorable, and Pinterest has so many amazing ideas. You can also design your own card online, like with Canva, have prints printed out, and send them that way. At the end of the day, the acknowledgement is more important than the gift behind it. All right, here's to a successful holiday season for you and your budget. Remember, the earlier you plan, the better off you'll be. Thank you so much for tuning into City Girl Savings today. I hope you feel empowered and inspired to master your money as you make your way to your dream life. Make sure you subscribe so you're the first to know when a new episode comes out. I truly value your thoughts and feedback, so please leave a review and let me know how this podcast has impacted you. Can't wait to chat soon and make it a great day.